broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Let's take a moment. Absorb this. We're not really going to hear this anymore.
I will. That's how I wake up. It's my alarm clock.
Your alarm clock's AJ's theme?
Yeah.
That's an energetic theme to get the day going.
You know.
So we got to talk about her. We got to talk about a whole lot of stuff. And we're going to do it right now here on AfterBuzz. You're watching us live on the AfterBuzz TV YouTube page, AfterBuzzTV.com. Listening to us on SoundCloud and iTunes. You are subscribing, giving us the 5 stars, all that good stuff. What's up, everybody? I'm Christian Rosenberg. You can follow me on Twitter at Real Rosenberg, as well as Instagram at The Real Rosenberg. That's right. I finally caved in and got an Instagram, and I'm still trying to figure it out. And then all of a sudden, this Periscope thing comes out.
I'm trying to figure out Periscope as well.
Yeah. So. Joining me, the beautiful, the talented, the vivacious. What other adjectives should I come up with?
That's really nice.
Well, once in a while, I try to be nice. At Kaorius, it's Miss Takee.
Hey guys, yes, again, you can follow me at KAORIOUS on Instagram as well as Twitter, and don't forget hashtag ABTV SmackDown. Is that correct?
I believe that is correct. Hashtag ABTV SmackDown.
So that is absolutely correct.
And speaking of which, the man engineering our show, it's the soapbox Mark himself, Mr. Mark Donica.
I mean, you named both of my names, and I'll take it.
Yep. Well, you deserve more than one name.
That's why I have so many.
I know. You're a man of many names.
More than just Neville.
I just realized we got to like the bridge of the AJ theme song, and we never get to that point. It kind of threw me for a loop here.
We just needed to hear the whole entire thing.
It was a key change. I got thrown off.
Of it, so.
I do what I can.
Thank you. Well, we're going to be talking about her a little later on in like our little news and gossip section. Mm-hmm. But we're going to start off by talking about this week's SmackDown, hailing from Dallas. And we start off with what I feel like is how we start off every single SmackDown lately, with the Intercontinental Champion, Mr. Daniel Bryan. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Not that I'm complaining. I'm just like, it seems like that's how we start every week with it. Daniel Bryan pretty much coming out, talking about how he's a fighting champion, and how last week he was fighting Sheamus, and Wade Barrett hit him with a bullhammer after Daniel Bryan, might I add, was bleeding from the forehead, which...
Hence the little bandage.
The little band-aid covering the little scar. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, out comes Bad News Barrett and Sheamus nearly together. They had their separate themes going.
Well, yeah, but they were together.
But they were together, bragging about what they did to Dan O'Brien last week. And they decided that the two of them are going to give Dan O'Brien a European ass-kicking because they can.
And so they try.
They try. But do they succeed? No, because out comes Mr. Dolph Ziggler to even the odds. And then for some reason, out comes Big Show.
Because he has to be in right.
Big Show had nothing to do with this feud whatsoever. He's with the Authority. These guys have nothing to do with the Authority right now. And Big Show's just like, hey, Sheamus, once in a while we disagree on some things, but I agree with you on this. We should, us big guys should take out these little guys.
There has to be a reason why Big Show came in, so...
That was his reason.
Okay.
And he's like, I want to join on the fun. Oh, I did forget, because I forgot to mention this. Ziggler, when he came out, he said that Sheamus looks like Captain Jack Sparrow and Carrot Top had a baby nobody liked.
Yeah, I personally, I really do like Sheamus's look. It adds character to himself.
I love the hair.
I love it.
I love the hair. I love the new music. The new music.
How about the twisty braids?
I don't know about the little beads in the beard.
I'm feeling that. I'm telling you.
It's a classic Celtic look. It is legitimately the look of Celtic warriors.
I mean, that's already like a flavor that we needed from him, because he was kind of vanilla, no pun intended, on his skin.
I think there was pun intended there.
So I'm digging that.
Okay. Well, then, like I said, then Big Show came out. And, oh, no, it's 3-on-2. All these three giants and little Daniel Bryan and Dolph Ziggler.
So what's going to happen?
Who can help them? Oh, yeah, Roman Reigns.
Why you say it was such disappointment?
No, it's like, oh, yeah, Roman Reigns is here. Because apparently him and Big Show are feuding, even though Roman Reigns never loses to Big Show. And he comes out. The big guys escape the ring, and the good guys stand tall. And when we find out the main event this evening will be a 6-man tag team match with Roman Reigns, Daniel Bryan, and Ziggler versus Big Show, Sheamus, and Bad News Barrett. Teddy Long is still there, apparently, making all these tag team matches, even though we never see him. He's in the back making all these tag team matches. He will live in all of our hearts. Teddy Long's spirit.
Yes, he will.
Even though he has not passed away. I want to emphasize that. He is still with us, but his spirit apparently keeps making tag team matches every SmackDown.
I mean, that's the way to go now. It's a SmackDown staple is the tag team, the 6-man, etc., 8-man, 10-man, 20-man.
This was a 97-man tag team match.
That's how they do.
Yes. And speaking of tag teams, next we have our tag team champions. Cesaro and Tyson Kidd come out to take on the New Day, and I like what they're doing with New Day now.
New Day?
What do you like about it?
They're embracing the fact that the fans say New Day sucks, and it's pissing New Day off, and they're slowly turning heel, and it's awesome.
That's what they need, is to turn heel. I think that would be a great shift for them. It would be a great twist. So, that being said. Big E is on the mic as they're entering, trying to start the New Day chant, and they scream New Day, and the fans yell, sucks. And Big E then goes on a sermon explaining why the crowd should love them and to get on their feet and clap with them. But I'm kind of intrigued that they didn't edit that out of SmackDown, so it's becoming a thing then.
They started it. They realized it's become too big. We're gonna make it a thing.
Go them.
Good.
Yeah, go them.
Great.
I like that.
And because it's interesting because Big E was a heel when he was just the muscle behind Ziggler. Kofi and Woods really haven't done any type of heel work, especially Kofi. I mean, Kofi's been around a long time now, and
I would love to see Kofi go heel.
And I'm just really curious how this is gonna develop. I'm intrigued by it now. Now, as this match goes on, New Day is still kind of wrestling like the good guys, because when you think about it, it's almost like heel versus heel in this match now. So they're still working as the good guys, but the crowd is not cheering for them. Eventually, Kofi gets a hot tag. He's cleaning house. He's getting ready for his Trouble in Paradise. Starts doing his clap. New Day sucks. And he slowly stops. I was like, why are you all... Why are you saying I'm ready to hit my finishing move? Why are you... And that distraction from the crowd let Tyson hit his finisher and Kidd and Cesaro get the win. I don't know how far they can go with it, but I loved it. Good.
I want to see how that goes and pans out as well. Keep going.
Expert in...
Yeah, I mean...
All right, I'll see it as well. All right.
Well, I
No, it's all good. Mark, what do you think of New Day finally turning heel? Or in the process of it?
I'm happy that they're doing it in a way that can that really they're not losing the New Day gimmick. They're sticking with the New Day, but they're just changing what the day is about and making it about the crowd.
That's right.
Making it about not necessarily about the crowd, but like, why not? Especially what Big E said. Like, we're here. Like, we're trying to spread positivity, and you need to be here. You need to support this because this is for you, and we're doing this for you, and you don't appreciate it, and nobody's being positive.
Mark,
but we are.
Mark, I feel like you need a hug.
I might. Mark needs hugs. All right.
Mark, Donica.
No, Mark, I did it already. Mark needs hugs.
All right.
Mark. And I'm blowing out the microphones. It's terrible.
Okay.
You guys in the chat roll, please come up with your fun New Day chants as well.
I will go into the chat roll. How about that?
I'm hanging on the chat roll right now. They're having some fun. Green Thunder just brought up that you probably want to talk a little bit more about Barrett.
Of course. I love Wade Barrett. And very
Cesaro.
accurate. And Cesaro. My heartstrings are being pulled by the two of them because they're both amazing.
Oh, she's in a love triangle. But Barrett told me he had bad news for you.
He did have bad news for me.
It was posted on our YouTube page and everything.
That's okay. I like the challenge. I'm just kidding. I would never.
By the way, if you haven't watched them yet, make sure you go to the AfterBuzz TV WrestleMania 31 playlist. We have over 40 interviews. I interviewed Barrett. Kaori gets an interview with Barrett afterwards, and he's like, "Oh, I talked to your friend earlier."
Yeah.
And of course, Mark and Hobo also on the red carpet of the Hall of Fame. Lots of crazy, fun, insightful interviews. Make sure you check those out if you haven't already, and you should have already. But if you haven't, do it. And if you already have, watch them again, and tell your friends about it.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun. If you want to watch me fangirl out part 2 or 3, however you want to count the interviews / encounters with Cesaro.
Did I fangirl out with Paul Heyman?
You fangirled out with
Yes.
Stephanie McMahon.
A little bit. So we won't have to talk about the Stephanie McMahon interview from SummerSlam. That one never happened.
You
that one
fangirled
didn't
with
happen.
Stephanie McMahon, so
that one
don't
didn't happen. No. But
I am a fangirl and proud. Maybe. But.
Well, speaking of proud, I'm quite proud of the fact that Neville is running wild, no pun intended, because he faced Curtis Axel. Now on Raw and SmackDown and everything.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't had the chance to talk about it on AfterBuzz yet since we got back from WrestleMania. I'm still going through the withdrawals. But that being said, we saw Raw live and as well as Neville's, debut. And that was amazing. It's so good to see him right there on the roster.
Well, it's great. Yeah, he makes a debut on Raw. Then this past Monday on Raw, they go ahead and they give him a 15-plus minute match with the champ.
Yes.
It's like, okay.
Yeah.
2 former NXT champions.
That's right.
Against each other.
And I was a little disappointed, though, because in the sense that I was hoping that he would always do his finishing move. I was just hoping that they would do that for him, but he didn't do it at Raw. He didn't do the finishing move.
Well, against Seth Rollins, no, because he lost.
But that's true.
I mean, well, they're not going to set up a Rusev like on the feud streak with Neville, which I'm fine with. But we get pretty much a rematch from that Raw after WrestleMania tonight with Curtis Axel and Neville, and the results are pretty much the same as the Raw after Mania, with Neville getting the win with the Red Arrow. There have been so many really cool high-flying finishing moves, but I swear, whenever Neville hits the Red Arrow, I feel he always lands perfectly.
He does.
Every single time. I mean, even sometimes like a frog splash, it might have been just a little like towards more the legs, or the swanton might have been slightly far, things like that. The Red Arrow every time is exactly where it should be.
I will say that that's the most excited I get when I know that finisher's coming. That sounds weird.
No, it's a really cool finisher.
Yeah, it's an awesome finisher. Yeah.
It's all right. You get excited at the finish. That's all good.
Yep.
That's all good.
Yeah.
Now we got into some interesting stuff on SmackDown, because we have not one, but 2 consecutive segments with Divas without the Divas champion around. We have Renee backstage with Cameron, Alicia, and Natalya.
Okay.
And Renee's asking them, hey, by convincing Kane on Raw to set up a #1 contender Divas Battle Royal for this Monday on Raw, do you think you kind of screwed Naomi out of her #1 contendership because she's beaten the champ the last couple weeks? And of course, Alicia and Cameron are just like, no. I mean, she's had some good wins, but it's all about give Divas a chance, and now we're all getting the chance. And Natalya was like, well, she earned, she did earn her title shot. But Alicia's like, well, you're happy you have this shot at the #1 contendership. Well, she's like, well, yeah. And then all of a sudden, Cameron jumps in, well, I'm going to win. And Alicia's like, you've been here like a minute. And Cameron's like, I've been here for 3 years, which is scary to think.
That's actually not very long.
No, but the fact that she's been there for 3 years and you haven't really noticed.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Well, most of it she was a Funkadactyl.
And you didn't really notice.
I noticed Naomi.
Yes,
Of
exactly.
course. Yeah.
So then they argued, then all of a sudden Alicia was like, well, I'm a veteran, which she is. And then Natalya was like, well, you got to start showing the other diva some respect. And they're like, yeah, I respect you too. And this respect turned to shoves and nudges and slaps, and then eventually Cameron was breaking up a brawl, which then led to immediately Natalya versus Alicia in the ring, and Cameron is our referee. By the way,
that makes for an interesting match.
By the way, this was the best I've seen Cameron in the ring.
Okay, that's big things to say for you.
Well, she was a referee.
Okay, well,
but she did a great job at it.
Okay.
I actually like her counts were vocal. She was actually doing all the rest stuff. She wasn't screwing anyone over. She was acting like a legit ref, and might add, much more attractive than Mike Chioda.
Okay, well,
and Chad Patton.
Yes. That's your opinion.
Well, to each their own.
That is true. That is only your opinion.
That is my sole opinion, that Cameron is a more attractive referee than Mike Chioda. Natalya gets the win with the sharpshooter, and then after the match, that's when Cameron's like, oh, I'm not really a ref. Haha, I'm an evil diva. And DDTs Natalya, and then picks up Alicia and DDTs her as well.
How'd you feel about that?
The DDTs honestly look good. I mean, I like the fact that they're giving the spotlight on these three divas that are going to be in that battle royal. Are they going to win it? No.
No.
But it's nice that they're giving them attention. It's like, hey, this girl's in the Divas Battle Royal. They're hyping up a #1 contender Divas Battle Royal. It's not just some random throwaway on Raw that we get 3 times a year.
Fair enough, I agree.
They're building us up. They're going to give this time on Raw. And that is great.
I mean, I think that they're giving divas a chance, no pun intended, more and more. And
they are.
If people know me and follow me, I am huge on the Divas division. Huge. Like I really want them to stand out, and seeing this growth is something that I'm really excited about. And I want to see divas that we don't see as often in the ring finally start standing out, and this is happening as well. So they're giving them longer matches, showing their talents, and I'm just excited about that.
And we got several actually divas really in NXT that are ready to go up when the time is right.
Yes.
So you know someone's got to be coming up soon. Most likely Charlotte. It's just a matter of when.
Sasha Banks.
I don't think they'll bring Sasha up while she's a champion.
I think that it is going to probably be Charlotte, but also Sasha Banks has been in NXT for a while.
Oh, no, she's certainly ready. Don't get me wrong. So is Bayley. So is Becky Lynch.
Yeah.
Becky Lynch might be quickly become my new favorite diva, by the way.
She's very funny. I will say though, as much as like I am on the NXT after show and we talk a lot from time to time. As much as I love all of the women in NXT, and I can't wait for them to come up, we do have some amazing women on the main roster still.
Absolutely.
And now that everybody's getting their time, I don't think Naomi's truly gotten her chance yet. She deserves that championship. She's one of the hardest workers on there. Alicia Fox, we have a comment from Twitter from Scott Murren. Alicia Fox's bridge, though. Every time she hits a bridge from a suplex, it's flipping amazing.
Yes.
There's so many women on the main roster that hopefully now they're going to give time to, that I think what they want to do is to give them the time so that people aren't saying, well, what are the NXT people showing up?
Oh, you know what I think is that, and this is crazy, but I think that they should have a tag team.
I don't think there's enough divas yet for a tag division.
There are, but there's not. I don't think there's the time.
Well, there's not the time, and then you're taking people out of getting the shot for the individual divas title. But come on, the main roster, we got what, 10 divas? Now, I mean, not trying to put any of them down because they can all go, but if we're really starting to divide people up in teams, then how are we going to have singles feuds and tag team? There's not enough. If you combine the main roster and the NXT roster as far as divas, then you would have enough for a division, but you don't want to do that. And I mean, we're mentioning Charlotte and Sasha Banks and Bayley, how they're ready to go up. I'm not saying that means they all have to go up, because if they all go up at once, then we don't have the people in NXT to help elevate the next crop once they go up.
I mean, I obviously don't have the answer, but there's definitely a way to utilize the divas to a maximum.
Yes.
And I don't think they've reached that yet. For example, WrestleMania, it was not for a title shot, and that was kind of annoying.
No, but they did give it a good amount of time.
It was good, yeah.
It was a good amount of time for that match. We'll see how the Battle Royal goes on Monday. And And we go from beautiful divas to Eric Rowan. I mean,
he's beautiful.
Well, they go hand in hand.
Gorgeous.
Divas and Eric Rowan.
It's the beard.
It is the beard.
Yeah.
The beard is beautiful.
Women with beards.
I don't know what that was.
Oh, okay.
We get this little vignette of Eric Rowan, but more importantly, it's kind of the story, apparently, of Bray Wyatt fixing him and setting him free. And it's really like, okay, well, we had this when Rowan made his quote-unquote re-debut. Then he was on Team Cena for Survivor Series. And then he kind of just, like, fell off the tracks a little bit. I mean, he had a match with Big Show on a pay-per-view, but then really wasn't doing much of anything. He was in a Battle Royal, but no build, no stories or anything like that. All of a sudden, tonight, we build a feud between him and Bray Wyatt. Like that.
Yeah.
And we have that match right away, Bray Wyatt versus Eric Rowan. And Wyatt starts talking about how he created Rowan, and he's talking about, you know, as sinister as he is, just watch what he does with someone he loves. And then out comes Rowan. They actually have a good match. They gave this good time. I thought Eric Rowan looked very good in this match.
Okay.
Which honestly is something we really haven't said too much lately about Eric Rowan. But I thought this was a very well done match. Bray Wyatt does get the win with his sister Abigail. And then at the end, cradles Eric Rowan's head in the ring. He's almost like singing him a lullaby. It's his baby.
It is his baby. That's exactly what it is.
I'm curious where this can go. If somehow this could relate to Eric or Rowan, or whatever you want to call him.
Eric or Rowan.
Eric or Rowan, or Eric Rowan.
Okay.
You know, whatever. Call him what you will. It's like how Mark Donica has several names.
Bearded
Eric
lady?
Bearded lady, bearded diva. How is this thing where maybe Rowan suddenly felt comfortable back with Bray Wyatt? Or he's like, I don't want to go back there, and Bray Wyatt's like, you should come back. Or they're just throwing it out altogether and just a one-time show storyline. I'm
guessing it's a one-time show storyline.
I hope not.
Really?
Well, who should Bray Wyatt be feuding with right now? The Undertaker thing ended.
Undertaker.
He lost kidding. The Undertaker.
Roman Reigns.
I wouldn't mind that, but it looks like they're doing Reigns and Big Show again.
Luke Harper. No.
How long was the build for Undertaker and Bray? It was months. They're giving it they're giving it time. I went to a live event the week before WrestleMania, and one of the main events was Bray Wyatt and Roman Reigns, and it was fantastic. So the way that Bray was talking on Monday made it seem that it was this big force that, hey man, he's trying to be that evil side that Roman shouldn't let take over him. I don't know. That's what I'm hoping for. I
would love seeing that. And when I heard that promo on Raw, I was starting to think that too. But then we had this huge multi-segments with Rowan tonight on SmackDown. So that's why I was thinking, maybe there's something along with this. But if they move on from Roman Reigns and Big Show, which I hope they do because we've already seen that, I would love Roman Reigns and Bray Wyatt. But then you have the problem of, okay, well, someone's got to lose, and neither one of them can afford a loss right now. So what do you do?
I don't know.
I froze for memes.
I'm just looking at you like,
Now, I get that look a lot for women. It's weird.
I understand, actually.
All right, fair enough.
All right.
Then we get to my favorite part of the show this week, Miz TV. And I don't normally say that about Miz TV.
I'm pretty shocked that that's your favorite part of the show this week.
But this really developed the feud between Miz and Sandow. I didn't say Mizdow, even though he's still kind of Mizdow, but he was also kind of Sandow.
He's on the fence.
Yeah. Miz starts off talking about Marine 4, how it's about to be coming out on digital HD and Blu-ray and all that. And he's plugging it. We have a trailer there for it, and he's proud of himself. He gets interrupted by Summer Rae, the co-star of the Marine 4.
How convenient.
And another diva getting time that is not, the champion. Summer Rae comes out, and Miz says, you should feel privileged to be in my movie. I didn't invite you out here, but, this is kind of my version of Miz giving a diva a chance.
Yeah.
I love that line. And then Miz gets in Summer's face and be like, oh, by the way, remember, I'm the star of the movie. And Summer's like, co-star. Because I'm on the poster with you. And you're my equal in this film. Sorry.
Okay.
I loved it. Summer Rae was standing her ground. And she sounded really good on the mic tonight.
Okay.
We haven't heard her on the mic in forever.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't really hear her talk much.
She was confident.
Okay.
The crowd responded to her. It was very good. Miz then talks about how, okay, you're treating me just like Mizdow treated me, how I made you. And then he goes to the crowd, you want Mizdow, but you don't want Mizdow without Miz with him. In 3 months, you will forget about Mizdow. And then he goes on, let me tell you a little bit about Damien Sandow.
Okay.
That man was fired from this company twice, which is true. Reality set in, realism. This is what fans grasp for, like these real stories. Damien Sandow was fired from this company twice, and he was on his way out for the 3rd time if I didn't take him in. And all of a sudden, he exploded. He became a champion, blah, blah, blah. That was awesome that he brought that up. Now out comes Mizdow, naturally, to a huge reaction. Mizdow's ready to clock him, and Miz is just like, hey, we can put all this behind us. I know you overreacted, but you also know that they will forget about you if you're around without me. Shake my hand, say you're sorry, and we'll put everything past us.
Okay.
He shakes his hand. He says he's sorry. That he didn't do this sooner. Pow!
Nice.
Biff! Oof, even. That's right, old school Batman references. And
that's true, it is. That's right.
That's why I did it.
Okay.
And he knocks Miz out of the ring. Mizdow is celebrating and then grabs Summer Rae in a celebratory kiss. And Summer Rae likes it.
I'm sure she would. I get it.
Yeah. This right here, because they had a match on Raw, and it's just like, they're not going to blow this whole thing off on just one Raw match. They can't blow it off.
No, they can't.
Now we actually have more of a background as far as what Sandow has gone through. And they have to capitalize on this.
I hope so.
It was so good.
Yeah.
I was all
when
behind
is this movie coming out? Because
the movie just the digital HD comes out tomorrow, and I think the Blu-ray comes out in like a week or so.
They're gonna definitely capitalize on it for a while.
Well, right.
Yeah.
Summer Rae can come out with Sandow.
Yeah.
A little interesting stuff there. Who knows what might happen there? Maybe they were creating a little couple.
Yeah.
I don't know why I just started talking like that.
I don't know.
Let me interrupted by saying The Marine 4 comes to Blu-ray and DVD on April 21st.
21st, so 2 weeks.
Very soon.
Or a week and a half.
So they have plenty of time to do all these promos and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's what's going to happen.
Yes.
That's what's up.
Then we get to our main event, 6-man tag team match. Bad News Barrett, Sheamus, and Big Show versus Daniel Bryan, Dolph Ziggler, and Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns pretty much not in this match at all until the very end, because they wanted to build him up. You even heard the crowd chanting, "We want Roman." Was that piped in or not? That I don't know. But the crowd was chanting, "We want Roman."
The live crowd was reportedly really hot for Roman.
Okay, good, because it did show. Because honestly, there was a lot of a noise for him. I was hoping that it wasn't being piped in, and that confirms.
That's good.
My belief. Good.
Your belief.
My belief. Daniel Bryan has a yes lock on the Big Show, and then Big Show literally with that arm that Daniel Bryan locks in, just throws him across the damn ring. Finally gets the hot tag to Reigns. Superman punches galore. Spear on Barrett. Reigns gets the win. And Reigns, Bryan, and Ziggler stand tall as SmackDown goes off the air. As far as the main event goes, I mean, it was a good main event. I mean, it was what you expect out of these 6 guys. They gave them time to give them about 20, 25 minutes. They're setting up, they've already announced that it's going to be Barrett versus Daniel Bryan for the Intercontinental title at Extreme Rules. Barrett's invoking his rematch clause.
Go Barrett.
Kaori's rooting for Barrett to win it back.
Of course I'm rooting for Barrett.
Now we know, besides we knew every Cesaro match he picked Cesaro to win, now we know every Barrett match he will be picking Barrett to win. She will never be predictions champion again.
You're probably right.
I feel like I've never been predictions champion ever because it's been a long time since I've won
When's your last reign? Sadly, you probably know this. When's your last reign?
The scary thing is I do because
okay.
Our fans, Emmanuel Dominguez and Joseph Boza, a while ago, they created some video montage of the date of every predictions champion and when they won it, which was awesome and scary at the same time.
It's awesome.
I last won it at TLC 2013.
No.
Was the last time I've been predictions champion.
Way.
December of 2013. So I lost it at Royal Rumble of 2014. So it has been about almost a year and a half since I have been predictions champion.
And no one wants it more than you.
I have been crying myself to sleep.
Look, I can help you out.
Can you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are we gonna collide?
Yeah.
Our magical minds collide? Because you've held it more than anyone else.
Yeah, I'm the best predictions champ.
I mean, I want to go there.
I would. I mean, it's a facts, you know.
But anyway, back to the Intercontinental Champion. So we got Bear versus Bryan. Are we gonna have Sheamus versus Ziggler at Extreme Rules?
Probably.
And like Mark was mentioned earlier, hopefully not Roman versus Big Show. Hopefully Roman versus Wyatt.
That would be weird for me.
To have what?
Reigns versus Big Show.
Because we've had it.
We never had the blow off from their feud earlier in the year, so I figure it'll close it. But I think Bray has an overarching plan for Roman in the future. That's all I mean. Definitely not for Extreme Rules, but he's something that he's building for maybe SummerSlam already starting.
That I'd be okay with. I'd be perfectly fine with Bray and Reigns build up to SummerSlam. But then what do we have Bray do now? More stuff with Rowan?
He can talk.
Well, yes, he can. I don't know if you're aware of this.
That's the fun part about an enigma like Bray Wyatt is he doesn't have to wrestle every week. He can, and he'll have a wonderful time, and we'll see wonderful performances like he put in tonight. But that doesn't necessarily mean that he has to fight. He's one of those people where winning doesn't matter to prove his point. And we've seen that time and time again. We saw that last year with Cena at WrestleMania, and so far we've seen it this year with Undertaker at WrestleMania, where as much as you want this guy to win, it'll drive the fans even more crazy to want him to win when he needs to. So he's one of those enigmas where he doesn't have to win to succeed.
Oh yeah, and we've said from the beginning when he's come up on the main roster, he has the Jake Roberts mentality where he might never win a title. And he will not need to win a title. Jake Roberts never won a title in WWE. I think he did okay. And Bray Wyatt is on his way to a decent career. By the way, side note, super humble guy.
Who?
Bray Wyatt.
Bray Wyatt, okay.
He was like the happiest to be interviewed.
I think everyone was pretty humble.
Well, everyone was humble
nice
and cool.
And awesome.
But like even when we weren't rolling, he was just super happy. I mean, it was freaking 6 a.m. when I was interviewing these guys. And he was super happy to talk to everyone, which was really cool.
Which means a lot, yeah.
Yeah. Let's get into news and gossip.
Okay.
Because we got news and gossip.
AFTERBUZZ TV News.
The biggest story, which we kind of touched on at the beginning of the show, AJ, bye-bye. AJ gone. Officially retired.
I was so heartbroken when I saw that tweet go out. Mm-hmm. It was tragic for me. I am fortunate that we got to see her last live show.
We saw her at WrestleMania and her last match on Raw.
Yeah. So I mean, that's great. I have tons of pictures and video, but it's sad for me to see that diva with that kind of the character kind of go away, because that's something, she's like that geek girl and she's small. I related to her in some ways, well, many ways, obvious reasons, and I'm just sad to see her go, because now I'm like, who do I relate to? I do like Paige a lot though, but
okay.
Yeah,
it's crazy to think it. I think as far as the Divas division, this was the best time for her to do something like this for the division, because like we were talking about earlier on how loaded the division is. it's not like all of a sudden we're going to have these matches and the crowd's going to be like, oh, we want AJ.
No, I don't think the Divas division is going to be hurt by
No. I'm sad to see her go.
Yeah.
Obviously, because she still obviously can go for several more years. Do you think... I'm just randomly throwing this out there.
Okay. Do
you think she's going to look at MMA stuff at all?
No, she would get pulverized in MMA. I mean, she's great. She's muscular. You know, she's obviously strong. But I just don't. You look at MMA stuff, and UFC. The UFC girls are beasts, man. Yeah. I don't think she should go in there.
I think she's just physically too small.
Yeah.
And that's not a slight on her at all. She's very muscular for her body type, but her body type doesn't suggest mixed martial arts.
Right.
The rumor is that she chose the phrasing of retiring so that she could sit out the rest of her contract until it expires.
That's what I heard. Yeah.
And then at the end of that is when it will be an expiration, and there won't be a no complete clause because it'll just be over, and she might go somewhere else. But
we'll wait and see if that happens. And Len, let me throw this question on the two of you. AJ, she was around 5.5, maybe 6 years in WWE. Several different relationship
including
angles.
NXT, right?
Oh, she was on the NXT when it was a competition show.
Okay.
Yeah, she was on the women's week to week on Syfy, but not actual NXT.
Right. No, as far as on the main roster, actually probably roughly about 5 years, but the first year or so, not really used at all.
I mean, I'll tell you, like when she was going around as general manager, I hated her. I couldn't stand her. I was like, they need to have another shtick with her, and then she started making out with the guys again and everything. I started liking her again when she was dating Dolph Ziggler.
Okay. So then let me throw this question on it. So several different relationship storylines with Ziggler, with Punk,
Cena.
with Kane, with Cena, Daniel Bryan. Raw general manager, part of that infamous 18-second WrestleMania match, that WrestleMania moment that Daniel Bryan, when it looked like it should have hurt him, actually really helped his career.
That one. Yep.
Longest reigning Divas champion, as far as since the history of the title turning from the Women's Championship to the Divas title. 295 days, 3-time Divas champion. Is AJ a Hall of Famer?
I've been reading things about the possibility. I think that maybe somewhere down the line, but not anytime.
No, I'm not saying next year Hall of Fame class. I'm saying, do you feel that her career, based on its longevity and what was done, do you feel that she transcended enough in female wrestling to be in the Hall of Fame?
I think,
like a Trish Stratus, like an Alundra Blaze, like a Lita.
I think in terms of her wrestling, yes, she's definitely a Hall of Famer eventually, but I think it has to be like a place where time and situation align for WWE to put her into that Hall of Fame, considering the possible circumstances of what happened.
I say an emphatic yes that she's a Hall of Famer. Okay. Mark, what do you think?
The fun part about the situation now is, for her actions and what she's done and her physicality and her matches, as of right now, there's not too many folks right now who've really transcended that. Well, she's just a great wrestler, Everybody's got that. She's a great diva. She's a good this. She's a good that. I think the time will definitely tell when we start getting the women coming up at NXT going, AJ Lee is the reason why I'm a professional wrestler. Yes. Much like we have people now who are like Lita, Trish Stratus, Ivory, all of those people who inspired me who were that badass woman. We're gonna have those nerds. We're gonna have those outcasts who are gonna finally come out of the woodwork and try to be a member of this roster thanks to AJ Lee, and that's where I think it'll happen.
Yeah, and I mean, like AJ was inspired by Lita to get into wrestling. Yep. There's some young girls out there that were inspired by AJ to get in. And I do just want to clarify AJ0314. I'm not mentioning that AJ should be the next woman to get inducted in the Hall of Fame. There are also plenty of other divas that also deserve to be in there. But I'm saying I feel her career, her body of work, that what we've had, even though it could have been longer, I feel she still did enough to earn a Hall of Fame ring.
Sure.
Other big news comes about our little show that we do here. We do this show called SmackDown. And SmackDown for the last several years, I don't know if you've heard of it. For the last several years,
I have no idea what that show is.
Nah, me neither.
I'm just sitting here.
All right. it's been on Syfy for the last several years. And a lot of people were wondering, why is wrestling on Syfy?
I know. Strange.
But then we clarified, don't worry, it's not wrestling, it's sports entertainment. But big news in the last couple days. SmackDown in early 2016 will be moving to the USA Network. So now USA is going to monopolize WWE. Raw on Monday, SmackDown on Thursday. NBC Universal will still obviously the tribute to the troop specials. Mm-hmm. They could pull out a Saturday night's main event if they want. They got Tough Enough, which comes back in June, which afterwards we'll be doing a show for that. I cannot wait for Tough Enough to come back. So this is huge news for SmackDown as a whole. Back in the Attitude Era, when SmackDown started on UPN, its numbers were ginormous. Now, granted, it was Attitude Era, so all the numbers were ginormous then. But it still reigned supreme there. Then all of a sudden, when it switched over to Syfy, numbers still did well, don't get me wrong. And for Syfy, it's been its most popular show. Mm-hmm. But it's not up to the par that WWE expects based on how the numbers are with Raw. And they've kind of shown by, at times, not really having many storylines involved in the SmackDown. Now, the last several months since it moved to Thursday, it started doing that some more. And now it going to USA is going to be huge. Because now you can literally be like, all right, I challenge you to a match this Thursday on SmackDown. I challenge you to a match this Monday on Raw. And you tune into that same channel, and you're going to find out about it. And that's awesome. Mm-hmm. I'm excited for this. Are you excited for this?
Yeah, I think it's a good move. Sorry.
As you rolled your eyes.
No, I was looking down for some tweets and stuff. I think it's a good move.
Well, what do you guys think at home about the move as far as SmackDown moving to USA Network early next year? And what do you think? Is AJ in the Hall of Fame, in your opinion, down the road? Will she be inducted in the Hall of Fame? Leave comments on iTunes. Leave comments on YouTube. Tweet us, Instagram, MySpace, Friendster, all that stuff. And make sure you keep the chat going with us outside of this lovely studio. Kaori, how can people reach out to you?
You can find me at KAORIOUS on Twitter as well as Instagram. And I just got done interviewing Adam Harrington, who does the voice of Baby Wolf from the video game The Wolf Among Us. That's why I'm a little out of it, because I'm already little fangirls. So go check that out. And also, if you are in the Los Angeles area, I have my very first stand-up show this Sunday at Flapper. So come join me and watch me be racist. No, I'm kidding. But anyways, come by. KAORIOUS, Twitter and Instagram.
Corey will be racist on stage.
No. Maybe.
And Mark, how can people reach out to you?
You can find me on Twitter at SoapboxMark, at The Gimmick Pod. Every Thursday we do NXT here. This week we interviewed the recently parted ways CJ Parker. It was a very wonderful interview that I was happy to be a part of. It's live now on the YouTube page, so once this live stream ends, just go to AfterBuzz TV and you'll see it right there. It starts about 30 minutes in if you don't want to hear us talk about this week's episode, which was just a WrestleMania recap. But yeah, it was amazing, and we're trying to get more guests on that show too. What about you, Christian?
That Hideo Itami breakdown that they had was amazing.
It was so good.
It was fantastic.
Speaking of Japanese, I finally saw Wrestle Kingdom 9, and I thought it was so excellent.
It took you long enough.
I know. That only came out about a year ago.
It took me a while. That's not a year ago. A couple months.
But I'm going to check out that CJ Parker interview when I get home tonight. And you can follow me on Twitter at Rue Rosenberg and Instagram at The Rue Rosenberg. Also, I'll be performing at the Comedy Playhouse in Hollywood this Saturday night, as well as iOS this Monday night. Tweet me for more details on that. Thanks so much for tuning in this week. For Mark Donica and Corey Takee, I'm Christian Rosenberg. We will see you later.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.